It is 1 o'clock. Welcome back in. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. A lot of interaction with you today. It's Reaction Monday. We do this each and every Monday. And joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline, former UAB head coach Bill Clark joins us here on the program. Coach Clark, I hope you had a good weekend. And, well, we did not have the upsets that we had maybe from the Alabama perspective like we did in week number 1. But it was wins for both Alabama and Auburn and a disappointing loss for UAB. But let's start with the two big ones in Auburn and Alabama. Your thoughts on those two victories against easy opponents?
Well, I got to actually be at the Alabama game, be on the sideline. Just the perspective of seeing them in person was, everything we'd heard in the offseason was just how talented, how deep. I think just the mindset, and I think probably everybody got to see it. And I saw it as the coaches would come speak to me, and you could see it on their faces, and to hear them talk about how bad a week they'd had. And that life or death mentality, which is, you hate to say that, but really that's what it takes. And I saw it from them. I saw it in their players' eyes. I mean, unfortunately for Monroe, they were on the other side of that. But you saw the talent, you saw the depth, you saw the focus, I think, for the first real time. And, of course, I got to see how good they look in person. So that was something to see, and also just the mindset, and it showed in the game.
And I'm guessing that our friend and your friend and former offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent, he knew exactly it set up. There was no good way that was setting up for Louisiana Monroe coming into Bryant-Denny after what had happened to Alabama and Tallahassee.
No, it's the worst thing. I mean, you just pray that they're happy, they're fat and happy. Now, you'd always want to play an opponent that's not very good. Well, when you play an Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, you're going to get the best of the best in every way. And then to get them focused and with something to prove, and especially something to prove at their home field. And I saw it. I mean, I saw it when they were walking around the field. I saw it in their warm-ups. I didn't see people messing around. And then I got to see the coaches come up to me and tell me, when a coach tells you it's been a horrible week, you know that they've put the hours in, the time, the focus. And then they showed it. I mean, when you got a quarterback that's 20 for 20, I mean, that's hard to do on air. And I'm sure Monroe would say, hey, we could have played better, whatever. But, I mean, got to give it all to Alabama because they were focused, ready to play. And if they can do that moving forward, they've got the pieces, no doubt.
We hear coaches, especially in college, week 1 to week 2, that's the biggest improvement. Is that overstated, Coach, in your opinion these days?
I don't know. I always thought it was huge. Just like I always thought first scrimmage to second scrimmage. And I think sometimes the sad part is what I always wanted as a coach was for you to have your life flash in front of your eyes without losing. Yeah. I wanted you to go, man, if we don't do whatever, ball security or tackle or run to the football or play great special teams, if you don't do that, we're going to lose. I want you to feel that before it happens. Same thing with the coaching staff. If you've got enough experience to know if I don't coach my butt off every snap of every play, something bad's going to happen. And that's where experience or a loss a lot of times comes in. So obviously for Alabama, they got the message. Now, can you keep doing it? Can you keep that mindset? We'll see.
All right. So, and again, no offense to La Monroe, but it's not Georgia. It's not Tennessee or LSU, but with you on the sideline and just being able to watch Alabama both offensively and defensively, and you kind of telegraphed it a moment ago by just saying about the dudes that they have. You being on the field, the speed of this Alabama offense and defense, do you think that this team still has the room to make a serious run this year? And I know that's only after 2 games.
I would have, after the first game, I would have said, I don't know.
Right.
Just because of the physicality.
Sure.
The lack of physicality. Now, we may find out Florida State's really, really good. That's why it's so hard to gauge. You just don't know about an opponent early on. I think for me, there was, and I'm telling you from all the people I talked to in the offseason how good they were talent-wise, and that was a consensus really around the country. And then not to see them as focused, play as hard, be as tough, or whatever that might be. I think that's what really shocked people. And I think some of it they probably, if you watch Florida State last year, I don't care who it is, it was hard to be impressed. So let's not kid ourselves where those players probably did not have as a high opinion of Florida State. So for whatever reason, I think they got the people, if they're focused, if they're hungry, which I think, and the coaches can keep them in that state, which is, what are they doing on the Friday night before the game? And all those questions that were asked, they got the people if they can do that.
Coach Bill Clark joining us here on Three Man Front. His Monday recap brought to us by Donahue Chevrolet, DonahueChevrolet.com for more details. The Auburn Tigers, Hugh Freeze, they're 2-0 on the season. The win in Waco a couple of Friday nights ago. Baylor, meanwhile, Coach, they won an exciting game on the road at SMU. Auburn beats an outmatched opponent in Ball State, but after 2 weeks, what you've seen from the Tigers, how do you assess?
Well, I think defensively, we didn't know what to think with Baylor. Well, obviously they've got an offensive team that can score. So that's kind of what I saw in week one. Like I said, Baylor's offense is better because I really have a lot of respect for what Auburn does defensively. Don't know a lot. Ball State, they're 0-2, but they did what they were supposed to do in the game, right, defensively. So we'll see more as we go about their defense. I think offensively they wanted to throw the ball in this game. They had almost an equal balance in run and pass. Jackson Arnold threw the ball well, high completion rate. And I know that's what they wanted to see in this game. So right now they're right on track. That's what you want to do in that game, was play well. Once again, still playing a lot of players, which probably didn't get to do as much of that in the first game, just like what Alabama got to do. You got more guys in, which is great for morale, great for depth, great to see people. So, they're right in line with where they would want to be going into the South Alabama game, I would say, for Auburn's sake.
It was a difficult situation for UAB. One, you're going up against a service academy that always presents problems to the rest of the college football world. You're playing there in Annapolis. And then on top of that, you have 2 extended weather delays. And I would think, Coach, that when you go into the weather delay, and let's just say Navy was not being as productive as they probably thought they should have been against UAB's defense, I would bode that would probably not be a very good thing for UAB coming out of the weather delay, because Navy would have an opportunity to adjust that game plan, because it's really an extended halftime period.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna kind of give you the different side of the coin. I think it was more a benefit to Navy's defense. Because I think UAB does a really good job, and this is what I think's happened to them in the past. I think Coach Mortensen does a really good job of giving you new looks each week. And sometimes, as people start to figure out, I think that's why sometimes they probably struggle some in the second half, because they have such success early because it's things they really had not shown. Maybe they've hidden it. I think that did help Navy over time. They got a better look at what UAB was doing offensively. I mean, if you were watching it, which I was on my phone, neither team really slowed each other down. And then, of course, UAB misses the field goal in the second half, which hurt them. But you got to give UAB's offense a lot of credit. And the thing I think that people should note is Navy's defense historically is going to be good because the head coach is the defensive coordinator who knows what he's doing. So, I think defensively, you still got a lot of questions about UAB's defense, even though they probably played better. Offensively, they're very talented. So, the jury's still out. They didn't play terrible, and that was a game they had a chance. And so, obviously that's, those kind of losses don't really help. But I guess just, are you getting better? Do you have a chance down the road? I think, at least gives them hope.
Yeah, and one thing that I talked to offensive coordinator Alex Mortensen in the morning in the hotel prior to the game, and he said, you go back to last year's game, we were trying to be really methodical, and to an extent you need to be, but he said, look back at last year's game in our first 3 series, and you've got drives of 11, 15, 9, but it equated to 3 points. And he told me we are absolutely going to make it a point to try to create explosive plays, and they certainly did that at least for the first 30 minutes of that game.
Yeah, I think they did. I think offensively they had a great start. That was not the right tactic, obviously, last year. And that's what you do as a coach. You adjust. If you were watching it, it was just, and of course, you were there, score. And I think Navy finally got to see some of those things and made some adjustments the second half. But UAB had obviously taken the right approach in the changes they'd made offensively.
Coach, there were a couple of major upsets. Another Service Academy, Army, they went to Kansas State. They were a 17-point underdog. They won there. But I wanted to ask you about Arizona State, top 12 team in America. They come on this side of the Mississippi River. They get upset by a lesser talented team in Mississippi State. Just talk about traveling that far away from home and how difficult it is for the team to get focused, and especially when you're playing at a place like Starkville, Mississippi.
There's a couple things there. One, I think a coach has got to be careful when he gives the other team reasons to play or giving their fans reasons to be against you. And I think he did that. Dillingham did that. Not very smart. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I just, if it comes across that I'm questioning where to stay and, they don't have hotels, and maybe that was not exactly what he meant, but I think that's how it came across. But, these places are all, any SEC place or school, I should say, there's a reason, they play in big games. There is a home field advantage. It's just different. And especially when you come to the South and the heat and the humidity, it's just different. And so I think they got to see that. I do think they probably gave their fans a reason to get involved by making comments. And that, it doesn't matter always. They're probably going to get involved anyway, but I sure never want to give them a reason to be out to get me.
A few more moments, Coach Bill Clark, presented by Donahue Chevrolet, DonahueChevrolet.com. Check out the new 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HDs that they have there in stock. Billy Napier, you go from hot seat to looking better, entering the season, nice comfortable win against Long Island in week 1, and then that happens to Alex Golish and USF, a really good, it looks like, USF team. But what does this do when you look at that schedule? You look at Florida, Billy Napier, his situation. What is he facing here?
It's tough. I mean, it's really tough. I mean, their schedule was absolutely tough, and and you got to find those games. You got to win those games. I mean, you just do. I mean, that's the problem. It's South Florida is looks like they got a really good team, and you cannot have stupid penalties. You've just got too many other games in front of you that are going to come down to the wire, and you just got to find a way to win those games. And because really, I don't see. I mean, what is there? Is there a break on their schedule coming up? I mean, I don't think there's one. So like I always say, you can, you go from the smartest guy in the world to the dumbest real quick.
Yeah, and all of a sudden that rivalry game that you counted on at the end of the season turns out Florida State. They look like they're pretty good, right, as you mentioned. Coach Bill Clark, you are brought to us every single Monday by some folks that you surely know. Your relationships go way back with our friends at Donahue Chevrolet.
Yeah, and I think I get to hear this from a lot of folks that tell me how well they've been treated by Donahue. They love their vehicles, and just great folks. And like we said, go look at all the deals they got online at DonahueChevrolet.com. Go check the deals out, as we say every week. Ridiculous deals. So I want to talk about you guys this week.
Hey, have you washed the Tahoe?
I have. It's very clean.
Okay. Well, me and Pat will inspect it on Wednesday. We're just making sure.
Right after church.
Okay. Well, good. Good deal. Coach, always appreciate it. We will talk to you on the Bill Clark Show later on this week.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right. You too. Coach Bill Clark, once again, DonahueChevrolet.com for more details. Joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, you deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. 15 minutes away from Hugh Freeze live, his press conference. We're going to have it right here on Three Man Front, and your home for college football and more. Jocks. 117, three-man front. This Reaction Monday. Hugh Freeze, his live press conference from the plains of Auburn following Auburn's 42-3 win over Ball State, coming up at 1:30 as he previews the Jaguars of South Alabama. Lost a heartbreaker to Tulane this past weekend. Well, this past weekend, hopefully you took me up on our friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. You can join millions of users just like me, and you can sign up today, make your picks in less than 60 seconds, turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. And Prize Picks is really simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get those projections right, you win. It's that simple. Tonight we are going to Monday Night Football, the professional football ranks, and it is a battle of quarterbacks. Caleb Williams of the Bears taking on J.J. McCarthy of the Minnesota Vikings. Right now, Caleb Williams of the Bears, 0.5 passing touchdowns, more or less than 0.5.
More.
J.J. McCarthy, Vikings, more or less, 0.5 passing touchdowns.
Less.
Yes.
So we're going more on Williams. We're going less on McCarthy.
You see the theme developing here for tonight's game?
I think we do. If we're right on both of those, we win. Here's what you do. You download the app today. Use code WJOX to get $50 in lineups after you play that first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX to get the $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even have to win to get that bonus. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
So I was telling you earlier that Kelly Ford at the K4 ratings on his website, he has all these analytics and all this data. And I was telling you that he has Texas winning the SEC currently with 6.4 wins. And Alabama was scheduled, according to his analytics, to finish second. He's got Auburn down the list, maybe I think 8th or 9th. And so he's given a little bit more detail about Auburn. So based on what's remaining on their schedule, according to the K4 ratings, got them a 94% chance of beating South Alabama. I'll agree with that.
Okay.
At Oklahoma. What do you think? Just first thing that pops to your head.
48.
39%
Okay.
chance of winning that game. So he's got that as a loss. At Texas A&M.
48.
43%.
Okay.
Very close. So it's 2 losses. Georgia at home.
48.
44.
43. Landrum is playing this game very well. So that would be 3 straight losses. Okay. Then Missouri. Win or a loss?
Where are they playing?
Auburn, 61.
I was going to say, 62.
60.
God, I went the
Landrum is really him and K Ford, right? Just simpatico.
What's on your computer, Landrum?
That would be DonahueChevrolet.com.
Right.
No, it is. It really is.
Yeah, there's tabs. There's tabs. Nah, I don't buy it.
Arkansas. At Arkansas.
That would be 71.
To win?
72.
57%.
Ooh, okay. So I think it's more likely they beat Missouri than well, I guess one's on the road.
Mm-hmm. Kentucky at home.
78%.
82%.
79%. Okay. Vanderbilt at Vandy.
74.
56.
62. Kind of split the difference between the two, yo. Mercer.
90.
98.3.
Yeah, whatever the South Alabama one was, 95.
Thought you were gonna, it was 99%.
Was
so
it?
you went 98.3.
Can we round up?
All right, and the final regular season game, the Alabama Crimson Tide at home.
52.
48.
He's got Auburn only a 34% chance of beating Alabama in the Iron Bowl at Jordan Hare.
Okay.
Must not watch the Florida State game.
So with that, he's got Auburn losing 4 games. at Oklahoma, at Texas A&M, Georgia, and Alabama at home, according to the K Ford ratings.
That's why you feel like because of the Baylor game, that was a pickup. Handle your business, of course, this weekend against Mercer. Those are your 4 non-conference, so you're 4-0 there. And then just going 4-4 in conference play. But I think that Auburn gets at least one A&M or Oklahoma.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that, if you assume every other game is going to be a win, if you just flip one of those games at 9-3, like you're maybe in a conversation for something.
And I
at the
think,
end of
by the way,
season.
for the record, I think there's a really good chance they get either Georgia or Alabama at home, too.
What I was about to say was that it would not shock me in the least if they lose the 2 games on the road, but they beat Georgia and Alabama at home.
That's some Auburn. That's some
fair.
Auburn crud right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that playing out.
The question is just if you do that, just don't trip up to an Arkansas or Vanderbilt, right? Because that'll be the question is, can you get one of those
heaven
tough
forbid
games?
Kentucky at home.
Or,
That's not happening.
No.
With
no
Calzada coming in there.
Revenge game.
Calzada will not be the starting quarterback.
With a
by the
sack
time
full
they
of
play
subs
Auburn.
and a pizza.
There's no way.
No, I don't think so either. He was rough. But so was the other guy they brought in. So he wasn't great either.
And maybe,
The freshman.
and Stoops said he loved the way that his team fought. Something tells me that was their Super Bowl.
Didn't you remember during the broadcast of the Ole Miss Kentucky game where they basically said Stoops had to go beg Calzada because Calzada was like going to go into private life, like he was done. He was done playing college.
Yeah.
And then they basically begged him to come to Kentucky.
There's just so many people I would have begged first to come be my quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, TJ Finley had already decided to go play elsewhere.
Oh, that's true.
You can't find I know Vandergriff, he retired.
He did. Yes, he did.
But you can't find a former starter in the SEC that's.
That's my thing. I mean, I'm sure, like, Auburn's obviously going to be glad to have him, but, like, I'm sure Kentucky would be better with Ashton Daniels as their quarterback than they would be with Zach Calzada. He's Auburn's third-string quarterback.
Ashton Daniels would be a great example.
I'd sign up for that. Maybe Robbie Ashford should have gone to Kentucky instead of Wake Forest, right?
He might be pursuing a law degree.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to dive deeper into not only Auburn's statistical data, you can go to kfordratings.com. Over the last 10 years, he's had the #1 most accurate preseason prognostications of anyone in college football, and he updates this information on a weekly basis. So it's pretty interesting. It's very similar to ESPN's college football playoff predictor in regards to the percentage chances of winning this and that. I will say this has more legitimacy than the FPI. The FPI is a complete joke. ESPN should shut it down.
Yeah.
And just move on. When we come back, we're going to go to Auburn and hear from Hugh Freeze as the Auburn Tigers get ready for the South Alabama Jags. That's next on Three Man Front.